Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much.
Could you please present yourself and say what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm the artistic director. I work for National Film Development Corporation as the artistic director, and my remit is to look after the big festival for us is the International Film Festival of India. But then we also have a festival for short films and animations and documentaries. So these are two different festivals. So I'm sort of artistic director for these two festivals, but also other things within NFDC.
Where are those festivals?
So I'll tell you. So firstly, National Film Development Corporation is a corporation working under the Government of India. The first festival that I mentioned to you is called the International Film Festival of India. It is held in the city of Panjim in the state of Goa from November 20th to 28th every year.
That's the one we know, like the Goa Film Festival?
That is the Goa Film Festival. And so that is mainly a feature film festival. Though we do show some documentaries, but it's mainly a feature film festival in terms of the length, even of a documentary. But then there is another festival that is held in Mumbai in the month of June. And that is a festival dedicated to documentaries, to short films and to animation films. So these are the two festivals. We also used to have before Corona a children's film festival, which hasn't happened after Corona, but it'll probably also get revived. So we'll have three festivals going.
So let's say Goa and Mumbai.
Yeah, and we don't know where the Children's Film Festival will happen. Whenever that decision is taken, then we would identify the city. Traditionally, it's been happening in Hyderabad.
What makes the Goa International Film Festival different to the other film festivals?
I think Goa Film Festival is very unique in the sense that it started in the year 1952. So it is one of the oldest film festivals in the world. And there are two or three things that will differentiate the Goa Film Festival from all other festivals in the world. One is that it is coming from a country which has a large population. It's probably the largest population in the world. And that largest population in the world has been given cinema, or has been entertained by cinema, or has been educated by cinema. Which is the maximum in the entire world in terms of the films made. So we make the largest number of films in the world. So this largest population is being served by the largest number of films in the world in terms of life, not in terms of the festival. Festival is something else. But the fact that these people have an exposure to cinema and a lot of cinema means they are cinema educated or film literate. So people who are used to cinema will be more discernible or discerning. So that is the thing. So they are quite educated. And we show a very large number of films. We of course run the festival over 9 days, and we show more than 250 films every year. We are also the only festival in India which is recognized by FIAP for international competition. So,
how many different sections it has?
Largely in terms of, so there is one section which is about the films. So in which there are two main sections. One is the international section and one is the domestic section, or the Indian section. So the Indian section is called Indian Panorama. And then, of course, the international competition, for which a very large number of films are submitted. Last year, I think 3,000 films were submitted. But eventually, they are shortlisted by a selection committee, and only 15 films make it to the main festival, where they are adjudged by a jury. And we have very, very good prize money for our festival. I think our best film will be there in that brochure, but I think it is $10,000 first prize. So it's a good festival, yeah, in terms of money.
You were talking about the jury. Last year it was Javier Angulo, who was the director of Seminci Film Festival in Spain.
Okay, what is the name you said?
Javier Angulo.
Okay.
For Seminci in Spain.
Seminci, yeah.
So he was the director last year, 2 years ago.
Okay.
I'm from the same city.
Oh, okay.
So my question is...
You have a good festival in Seminci.
I know.
Yeah.
And 3 years ago, an Indian film won the big prize, and the director, I'm not gonna say it right, I know, it's
Pan-Nellen. Are you saying Pan-Nellen? Yeah.
He made a movie about a guy who loves cinema and looking for...
Yes, that picture is called Chelo Show, the last picture show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this movie won the biggest prize in Seminci, in Valladolid.
Yeah.
And my question is, how important is Indian movies in other film festivals, mainly in Latin America, because it's where I'm focused?
You know, I have my distributors are there in Latin America, so I do talk to them. Plus, I have many friends who make films or who live in Latin America, and for some reason, there is some commonality between Latin America and India. It's either in terms of geography that we are at the same latitude, or maybe we have shared histories of colonization, or maybe we have shared histories of our desire or aspiration to be democratic and things like that. So there's a lot of commonality between these two. So the Indian films are understood very well in Latin America, and Latin American films are very well understood in India. The problem, I think, is not sufficient number of Indian films are reaching Latin America, and not sufficient number of Latin American films are reaching India. So I was talking to my friends from Uruguay yesterday, and both of us were very, very keen that we should increase this exchange, because people must get to see films from Latin America, even Central America, and then they will appreciate it. I myself, we were talking a little bit about Hector Bebenko, for example. I am a great admirer of Hector Bebenko, and not only just Hector Bebenko, but Louis Buñuel from your part of the world, who made so much Latin American cinema subsequently.
So far in Goa Film Festival, International Film Festival, you show, I guess, movies from India, of course, but also movies from other continent. Which one is the next continent with more movies? Maybe from Europe, from Asia?
Yeah. I can answer that. It changes. Our international competition is a subject of people submitting films. I'm not talking of curation. As I said, very large number, almost 100 films get into the festival through submissions. So it is a function of how much submission is happening from whichever region it is. So naturally, typically it will be Europe submitting more films. There will be lesser films being submitted from Latin America, lesser number of films being submitted from Africa. But that is what we want to change, because it's called an international film festival. So you can't have a preponderance of American films or preponderance of European films. We want films from all parts of the world. And until we tell the people of that region, the filmmakers of that region, until we reach them, tell them there's something called Goa Film Festival, they will not know. Although the submission is free of cost and the prize money is good, but they will not know, simply not know. So I think we are trying to work with many governments and many festivals in Latin America to change this situation.
And then talking about the Goa Film Festival, you choose different movies, and what is your aim? What is your wish? Like the people watching those movies at the end of the festival, they go out, they go back home, and they think about what? What is your aim? Like, what do you want to learn? Let's say learn with your movies in the festival.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think I'm quite clear in my head about it. Any film festival has to be primarily about films. So films can do 2-3 things. One is that they can bring the lives of the people of different regions for the audience of the Goa Film Festival to see. So if they see a Nepali film, they'll get to learn something about life in Nepal, or life in Uruguay, or life in Portugal, or life in Rwanda, wherever. So when you understand how different people are living their lives, there is more acceptance, there is more tolerance, there is more liberal outlook. So one is exposure to cultures, different cultures, number one. The second part is the way they are making their films. So that is about how films are being made in different parts of the world, and that is a very creative. That is an exposure to creativity in different parts of the world. So there may be a way people are making film in South Africa. I'm not saying in terms of content. I'm saying in terms of form. and there are different experimentation happening with film in different parts of the world. So that is very exciting. So film festival is for the people who are cineasts who want to come and see films and learn through cinema the lives of the people about who the film is. So these two are the main things. I mean, it's opening yourself to different influences.
And two more questions. What is the most complicated thing for you for programming?
Most complicated is not. It's not complicated. It's quite simple. Because I'll tell you what we do. I'm the artistic director, but we for all selections we have selection committees or juries to do that. So we go by their advice. Whatever they like goes through. What they don't like doesn't go through. So it's a fair competition, and that jury is totally independent. They're not our employees or anything. They are filmmakers, cineasts from the industry, from the outside industry. So they take their own call. So it's not complicated. Festivals, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, there's so much happening in a film festival that to, get everything right all the time is pretty challenging. But I think we've been doing it for a very long period of time. So there's sufficient experience. Yeah.
You have experience. And last question, how important is here Cannes Film Festival for you personally and for the Goa Film Festival?
It's very important. I'm watching films very keenly because if there are films that I appreciate either in terms of content or in terms of form, then I would want those films to be seen by the Indian audience. So I'm in a way the ambassador of Indian film viewing public here, and I should make the right choices and get the right films from this festival into our festival. So it's very important. But Cannes is important, Venice is important, Toronto is important, every festival is important to us. We don't have money to go to all the festivals, but at least it is my ambition and my desire to attend as many film festivals as possible. Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you very much. We know that you don't have too much time because you are very busy watching movies with meetings. So thank you very much for those minutes.
No, thank you very much for seeking me out and for doing this interview. And I'm very pleased through you I am reaching a set of people who I would otherwise may not have been able to reach. So my voice will reach those people, and hopefully through my voice and through you, we will be able to get good cinema from those regions where your interview reaches. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Thanks.